Hello, my name is Daijah Randall. Today I will be sitting down with Mrs. Freida Robinson, and we will be discussing the Baltimore riots of 1968. Let's start with some background information on the event. On April 4th, 1968, at 6 p.m. in Tennessee, Dr. Martin Luther King was assassinated in outrage of the murder. Many blacks took to the streets across the country in a massive wave of riots. On April 5th, 6 hours after the riots began in Tennessee, the riots started here in Baltimore City. First starting as restless crowds around Baltimore, the riots lasted till April 12, 1968. That brings us to our guests. Mrs. Freida, let's start with what was the mood like in your home after Dr. Martin Luther King's death?
Well, it was pretty somber. Everybody was pretty sad. They didn't want to go outside the house because they were really scared. But they really didn't know what to expect. What the police would do, especially when the riots started.
Where did you live in 1968?
I'm not sure whether I was living home or up there by Mondama's. I think I was up there by Mondama's at that time. I moved out of my mother's house. Yeah, it wasn't too bad up in that area, but yeah, that's where I lived at that time.
All right. The governor at the time was Spiro Agnew. He called in the National Guards. He called in the National Guards, about 5,700, to patrol the streets. Do you remember seeing the troops?
Oh yeah, I remember seeing the troops. If you were on a bus, because that's the transportation I used at that time, you would see the troops ride through the streets.
Did they ever say anything to you, or they just?
Well, I guess if you said something to them, they would say something to you. But no, pretty well. A lot of folks were just afraid of them, really, because they had never seen anything like this going through your city.
Yeah. 5,500 arrests, including 3,488 for curfew violations, 955 for burglary, 665 for looting, 391 for assault, and 5 for arson. Did you know anyone that was arrested?
Actually, yes. I know a couple of people. First of all, at that time it was my boyfriend. He had actually gotten arrested. One of his friends down on Baltimore Street on Gilmore. That's where the big riots was down in that area. The storefronts were all burnt out and everything. But yeah, they had taken him to the police department down in Glenbury somewhere, and his mother had to go and fetch him out. So he was a long way from home. So, but he only stayed overnight, which was good. So.
That's cool. Did you how were you affected by the riots?
Well, it kind of affected me because one day I was coming home, and I don't know who threw rocks or bottles at the bus, but they had busted the windows out and everything, and the bus driver was telling everybody to get down on the floor and all that stuff. So actually, I had to have my boss come and get me and take me back home because I was scared to ride the bus again.
I don't blame you.
Yeah, because I had to go from West Baltimore all the way to East Baltimore, so that was kind of scary.
So did you actually see, I'm sorry, did you see like anything going on with the riots, like people actually doing any of the stuff?
Other than on TV, no. I didn't see it. I didn't see people running with stuff in their hands and all that stuff. We saw the after effects where my mother lived, where they had broken into potato chip factories and all. They had potato chips strewn up all over the place and all like that. So.
Did they block off a lot of streets, or was they still open?
They were still open. Yeah, they were still open.
How about a lot of businesses? Were they closed after the fact, or?
For a while they were, yeah, because a lot of the storefronts were all burned out. These people throwing Molotov cocktails and all and they were burning them up. So, which was pretty bad because it was their own, their own neighborhoods, and they were just tearing them up.
Right.
So, and it was really.
Yeah, I saw a lot of like online. There was pictures of like store owners and everything like crying at their front door because they lost everything they had due to the fires.
And a lot of those shops, like the folks that ran them, they had homes over top of them, so they were burned out of not only their business but their homes also. So, and that was really terrible.
Yeah, I read it was $12 million today's money compared to 1968 money, because I never could read like how much money it actually was in damage that was done in Baltimore City at the time. So that's pretty significant amount of damage done.
Yeah.
But it was over almost 2 weeks. Well, was it 7 days? Something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Because it wasn't done until April 12th. Well, it's been lovely talking to you.
All right. Good talking to you too.